now let's jump in. Let's talk about Snowpark and Python. So little of this is a little bit of this is a review from last month. We want to talk about this a little bit more, but Snowflake and Anaconda, with we've got the Conda package manager and all the curated Python packages that are available, which make our life much easier. We don't have to worry about managing all the dependencies. So the Conda package manager is integrated into Snowflake in our secure sandbox. It's secure, it's scalable. We don't have to worry about all of that. It's easy access, and we looked last month at how we can query the information schema to be able to see all those packages, the packages that are available. And so let's talk a little bit about the actual Python functions. So Python functions, they're leveraging Snowflake's warehouse for processing. So when we're running Snowpark Python, this is actually running on our virtual warehouses. So the Python functions, they can use packages from Snowflake Anaconda channel, which is regularly updated. And during the function creation, Snowflake solves for the specified packages. We'll talk about that in a little bit to determine which ones to install before execution. And then the packages are cached just like tables in the function. We'll talk about that a little bit more in just a moment. But I wanted to talk about the packages and how we can kind of define which packages we're using. So if you look up here in the top right, and we can zoom in here, and there we go. So if we have this function, for example, so we're going to do a create or replace function, pi_udf, and we can define which packages we want to use. So we have numpy and we have pandas. And if we wanted to specify a package version, we can do that. We don't have to. We can take whatever the default package is, but we can specify a version. And so you can see we've got two examples here. One, for pandas, we've got pandas = 1.4. And so what this is going to do is it's going to take the highest version of 1.4. So if we got 1.4.3, it would take that. If we've got 1.4.5, it would take that. So we're saying that it's got to be 1.4. It can't take 1.5, but it can take the highest version of 1.4. XGBoost here, we've got =, and it's very specific. We want 1.5.0. And so we can define that either way. We don't have to define this at all. If we just had pandas in here, it would take the highest version there that's available. And but we can define that. We can use, as I mentioned, the asterisk as a wildcard. And then these are installed seamlessly along with any other packages that are needed by whatever it is that we're doing. Now, if for some reason a combination of package versions if there's no combination of these versions, then that create function is going to fail, right? So if we tell it it's got to use a specific version, it's not there, it's not going to work. So we're going to, we're going to make sure that those are available. And so once we've created this, then so if we create this function, then whatever versions are used when that's created, those are the versions that are there. So if we want to see for a function what the packages are that it's using, we can use the describe function command in Snowflake. So we can run this describe function py_udf, and just a note, just like JavaScript stored procedures, just like other things, we can overload these. So if you had pi_udf and it was passing in a varchar, you could have pi_udf that passed in a number. You could have pi_udf that passed in two varchars. So you can overload the names. But if we do a describe function with the function there, going to return back is it's going to return back the packages that we defined when we created the function, right? And then what actual packages were installed. And so you can see there were a bunch of other packages that were installed that were needed for what we were doing. But I highlighted here in red, NumPy, we got 1.22.3. Pandas, we've got 1.4.3. And remember, we did 1.4. So it took 1.4.3. XGBoost, we got 1.5.0. So we can see that. And then the other important thing, if I scroll down here, is that once these are solved, they are frozen. And so when, let's say pandas 1.4.5 comes out, this function is still going to be using 1.4.3. It's frozen with that function as to the versions that were there and solved when we created the function. If a new version of one of these packages comes out and we want to use that in our function, we can. We just need to do a drop and replace or create and replace. We just need to replace that function, basically rebuild that function, and it will go and grab the new version of those. The cool thing here again is that all of this stuff that we're running, it's using the virtual warehouse. Instead of taking the data to the processing, we're bringing the processing to the data, like we've talked about.
Hey folks, thanks for checking out this cut from our broadcast. To see the full show, click on the link in the video description. Also, check out our Learning Center, which has white papers, events, live streams, and short explainer videos on a wide range of data management topics. And of course, if you like our content, please share it on LinkedIn. That really means a lot to us. Thanks again for checking us out, and we hope to see you in our next broadcast.